So this isn't about co-authoring policy. It's about ensuring that our policies are informed by a grounded understanding of how they impact investment, how they impact credit, and how they impact enterprise. Insights such as early shifts in supply chains, credit trends, or investment sentiment can go a long way to help we regulators to act sooner and to act better. We believe this is a smart evolution in central banking versus private sector relations, and we hope you will be part of it going forward. Colleagues, monetary and financial stability are inextricably intertwined. Disruptions in the financial system can constrain credit creation, it can induce persistence in market interest rates, and it can trigger exchange rate volatility and impede monetary policy transmission with negative pass-through to inflation and output. Therefore, safeguarding financial stability is widely recognized as an important dimension of maintaining macroeconomic and monetary stability. And the Bank of Ghana, as a steward of financial stability, has taken decisive steps moving beyond traditional supervision toward a more proactive, a more risk-sensitive, and system-aware model, what we call the forward-looking type of supervision. Colleagues, this approach is not just about compliance, it is about shaping a banking system, a system that is agile, a system that is accountable, and a system that is equipped for a fast-changing world. Certainly, our job as a central bank is not just to preserve stability, but our job is to prepare the system for future shocks and opportunities that will inevitably come in the future. So that is why, for example, we are advancing our roadmap for regulating virtual asset service providers. An example is the crypto industry in line with global standards. We are aware that we have nearly 17% of Ghanaian adults already holding crypto assets, including strong adoption among our youth, among tech entrepreneurs, and even that has existed for this while. Colleagues, the proposed framework will be submitted to Cabinet by September, hopefully, and will clarify oversight and collaboration roles when it comes to the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Bank of Ghana, as well as other relevant agencies. We are also taking steps to operationalize Ghana's open banking guidelines, as well as digital banking frameworks that will enable secure data sharing, frameworks that will drive financial innovation, and frameworks that will enhance consumer choice across the financial services industry. We have established an AI and data analytics office, which is already enhancing real-time risk monitoring, supporting monetary analysis, and improving financial surveillance. We are also embedding climate and ESG risks into our on-site supervision for our new regulatory standard, a standard that emphasizes early risk identification, tech resilience, governance discipline, and macroprudential coordination. Colleagues, we are working closely with the Ministry of Finance, with SIGA, and with the Ghana Stock Exchange to revive Ghana's domestic capital markets, even as economic stability returns. We are looking at this not just as a financial sector reform, but as a catalyst to spur economic growth. This will include preparing the state-owned enterprises for listing to unlock value and transparency. It would include encouraging bank participation to widen ownership, and it will include reopening the domestic bond market with benchmark securities that will support infrastructure investment. These efforts are aligned through a joint capital market development strategy modeled on coordinated approaches seen in more advanced economies. Colleagues, our aim is to shift from short-term consumption. Ladies and gentlemen, this reset, therefore, is not about slogans. It is about rebuilding trust. It is about restoring confidence, and it's about preparing our economy for the next decade. Now, 10 years from today, few will remember the exact 2026 inflation rate, for example. But they will remember whether we built a financial system that created opportunity, that rewarded innovation, and that empowered Ghanaian businesses to lead at home and across Africa. At the Bank of Ghana, we are reforming how we regulate. We are reforming how we communicate, and we are reforming how we partner going forward. But the true test will be what you do next as stewards of capital innovation and employment. Let us make this the moment where Ghana's public and private leadership rise together, not just to recover, but to reinvent. And of course, let me take the opportunity, before I take my seat, to invite, which was introduced in July 1965 by Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And we shall soon issue guidance to this effect. But let me emphasize that the cedi, our cedi, remains the only legal tender in Ghana. And I put that in capital letters. The cedi is the only legal tender in Ghana. And as businesses, we must ensure that transactions going forward are conducted in our local currency. I want to thank you for this opportunity once again, and I look forward to the ideas and partnerships that we will establish today from this summit. And I thank you for your attention. Thank you very much. Well, my glasses did not let me understand.
One more time, the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Pandete Siama. And clearly, if this applause is anything to go by, and all her partners who have made this a reality. Shortly, as you can see, we shall be receiving in our midst the President of our Republic, our guest of honor,
Interplus was established in 1970 and is a brand that is as Ghanaian as any. Over the years, however, we've expanded our activities well beyond the borders of Ghana with exports into Western and Central Africa and, of course, even space. Today, Interplus boasts of an employee strength well over 600 people. Our vision as a company and a major plastics player in the sub-region is for all African countries to be able to enjoy the benefits of quality materials without having to import from other continents. In effect, boosting the entire African economy. The remarkable thing about Interplus, however, has been the company's ability to innovate and provide tailor-made solutions that are relevant to everyone across the spectrum of end users. Our state-of-the-art, high-quality oil and gas, agricultural, electricity, telecom, and a whole host of others. Interplast understands that today's customer is looking for a partner who is in step with the latest technological and market advancements and on whom they can rely for innovative and complete solutions. A supplier that will deliver their products as promised without hassle, anytime, anywhere. We have the capabilities, the scale of operation, and the international coverage to meet these needs. Interplast. Wherever you are, we make sure water reaches you, even space.
In the dynamic heart of a provides comprehensive furnishing options. We cater not only to individual homes, but offer tailored solutions for businesses, real estate developers, and the hospitality industry. Our commitment extends beyond furniture. We empower our customers to truly experience the art of living, offering accessibility quality, durable design, and reliable service to create spaces that reflect success, comfort, and modern Ghanaian style. We invite you to connect with us and discover how we can aid you with your next project. Think home, think Oka. In the dynamic heart of Accra, innovation and lifestyle converge. Oka Deco stands proudly within this landscape, redefining how Ghana furnishes its homes, offices, and public spaces. We are more than a store, we are a partner in building environments. Step inside our expansive showroom, thousands of square meters dedicated to inspiration, a curated world where quality, style, and possibility meet. We offer an unmatched scale of choice, showcasing diverse aesthetics to spark creativity for any projects. From contemporary living and dining collections to functional office solutions and durable outdoor settings, Oka Deco provides comprehensive furnishing options. We cater not only to individual homes, but offer tailored solutions for businesses, real estate developers, and the hospitality industry. Our commitment extends beyond furniture. We empower our customers to truly experience the art of living, offering accessibility quality, durable design, and reliable service to create spaces that reflect success, comfort, and modern Ghanaian style. We invite you to connect with us and discover how we can aid you with your next project. Think home, think Oka. In the dining
My name is Evangelist Dr. Jacob Akwetama. I'm the head of lab for the Trust Hospital Company Limited. I know Flow Pharma to be a very good vendor for our hospital. My experience with Flow Pharma has been a very cordial one and very, very nice. Flow Pharma being very, very well with our supply of reagents. Whenever we need reagents, you call on Flow Pharma, they are just here for you. You don't need to worry about when they will come. In fact, Flow Pharma has given us a lot of reagents, a lot of kits, notably those from Bowsec, Holland. We also have Migraine, also from Flow Pharma, Migraine Hematology Analyzer. And currently we are also using Mandarin chemistry analyzer from Flock Pharma. When we talk of upgrade, in every laboratory, you need to upgrade your system. So if you need certain tests and you don't have machine for that particular one, you need to look for a new machine that will be able to do. Mandarin, and I think 430, and it's very, very, very good. In fact, we are able to use the machine to do a lot of chemistry tests, ion studies as well. So in fact, it does very, very well. Both and the
now, ladies and
the liver
gentlemen,
function test, the kidney
our
function
guest
test,
of
the
honor,
lipid
the President
profile.
of the Republic and his entourage. Please be seated. In times past, he's joined us as candidate Mahama, making known his vision for a newer and prosperous Ghana through the Reset Agenda. To the glory of God, he joins us as the President of the Republic. Would you please make welcome with warmth and fervor His Excellency, John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic. To you, we say congratulations, a warm welcome, and Godspeed on the journey ahead. In the delightful company of the President of the Republic is the Presidential Advisor on the Economy, the Honorable Seth Tekbe. Together with the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, make welcome once again, Dr. Johnson Esiama. Together with you, business leaders from across the country and beyond, to you we say thank you for attending to our invitation yet again and to the 9th edition of the Ghana CEO Summit, where today we border on a reset economy. In time past, Mr. President, we have had the pleasure of listening to a few keynotes which will culminate in your ultimate keynote, and thereafter an interaction with the moderator, and then we shall zoom straight into the CEO Awards. Let's now receive Clifton Homes and MTN, our sponsors.
Good business means seeing the possibilities and maximizing opportunities making sure you have a responsive support system. Backs your business goals. A partner that gives you a stable platform with reliable connectivity and seamless solutions, and better understands the tools required to take you to the next level. With so many moving parts in running a business, we do our best to provide you with some stability, the only kind of stability you can find with MTN Business Broadband, the fastest and most reliable internet provider in Ghana, making sure you stay ahead and stay connected, because we understand what makes your business tick.
Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111.
MTN.
We meet today to explore a very fascinating theme on leading Ghana's economic research, transforming business and governance for a sustainable futuristic economy. Here to speak in line with our theme on resetting leadership, business and economy, leveraging digital transformation for sustainable growth, is a knowledge partner of ours, SAP from Middle East and South Africa, I beg your pardon. Would you please make welcome the Managing Director for SAP Middle East and Africa South, Mr. Shiraz Kota, for his presentation.
Good morning, President of Ghana, esteemed government ministers, business leaders, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to SAP's keynote this morning, resetting leadership, business, and the economy through leveraging digital transformation for sustainable growth. My name is Cameron Beveridge. I'm the head of SAP's corporate business for Middle East, Africa South, and I'm delighted to be with you in Ghana today during Africa Month at this year's 9th Ghana CEO Summit, where leaders come together to share ideas and help shape Ghana's future. On a side note, I'd like to apologize. It's my first time in Ghana, and hopefully there will be many more visits to come. In Africa, there is a hunger to learn and a passion to progress and drive our potential. In this case, leveraging digital transformation. Now let me hand you over to Shiraz.
Good morning, everyone. Firstly, thank you to His Excellency President Dramani Mahama, honorable ministers, esteemed guests, and our hosts for having us here today. My name is Shiraz Kota. I'm the Managing Director for SAP in Emerging Africa, which is West Africa, East Africa, and Lusophone Africa as part of the Middle East and Africa South region. Cameron and I have traveled from Johannesburg, South Africa to be with you today, so thank you so much for having us.
So Shiraz, before we kick off today and to set the scene, I believe you wanted to briefly take the audience through some AI skills and Africa-specific research report recently commissioned by SAP.
Yes, Cam, thanks very much. Given the topic of digital transformation, context is everything. So SAP has specifically undertook an Africa-centric research covering South Africa, Nigeria, and Kenya, titled Africa's AI Skills Readiness Revealed. The objective of this research is to understand how African companies are transforming their skills development to meet the demands in the age of artificial intelligence. So I'd like to share a few highlights of this report. It comes as no surprise to me that 100% of the companies that we polled understand that 2025 will see a significant demand for AI skills across the continent. The business impact of a lack of AI skills is well understood by 90% of respondents, citing negative impacts on existing projects, failed innovation initiatives, and the inability to take on new projects, and not just IT projects. The most in-demand tech-related skills are AI developers, generative AI skills, AI integration, data cybersecurity skills, and data analytics. Perhaps the most important thing to share is the output and recommendations from this research. We anticipate that organizations will need to spend a lot of their resources in preparing for the AI skills gap, so planning for AI-related skills, understanding the business impact of AI, and comprehending how a lack of skills can impact on different industries and different organizations. We implore you to invest in AI skills development to expand and extend training efforts and cultivate the right mix of AI skills, focusing on AI development, as I said, cloud, cybersecurity, and especially on ensuring that your data is in good shape, because without it, the insights from AI are not going to be as profound as we intend them to be. SAP is making its certifications available to universities across Africa at no cost. So this is a contribution that we're making to the youth of of Africa to ensure that each of the technical graduates will have access to SAP certification so that they can work in the industries and countries and enable organizations to take full advantage of AI within the SAP landscape. So to all the members of this esteemed audience, we have shared a link to the long-form version of this research. It's available through ourselves and through the organizers, but we will also post it on LinkedIn and make sure that everyone has access to it.
Thank you, Shiraz. It's useful to have a factual understanding of the lay of the land when it comes to the AI readiness of our region and across Africa. What we do know is that everywhere we look and with every organization that we engage, businesses are looking to get that competitive edge through leaders in the AI space. We also know that AI is reliant on one core ingredient, and that is solid and trusted data. And the one thing that SAP has developed over 53 years of experience across the continent is outstanding data.
Absolutely, Cam. I think I bring a simple message. Africa's growth story must be powered by digital transformation, rooted in local priorities and driven by bold leadership. I will share some real-life use cases across our continent later, but first I'd like to focus on 3 powerful enablers, including data. The first one is unified business applications. Across our continent, we still rely on fragmented systems that limit transparency and limit our ability to bring these applications together. Unified business applications connect critical business functions such as finance, HR, compliance, procurement, and customer engagement. When working optimally, they help us simplify operations, strengthen compliance, and gain a better control of our resources and cash flows. For Ghana, where public and private sector collaboration is vital to the national development, these platforms provide tools to manage infrastructure, agriculture, energy, and public services with a greater efficiency and accountability. Whether it's a local manufacturing company or a state-owned enterprise, integrated systems help leaders focus on impact and not just paperwork. The second aspect is AI and analytics, which you will hear a lot of today, but it drives informed and designs our success. This is where AI and analytics comes in. From the research I've already told you, African organizations already are acutely aware of just how significant the need for AI skills is. It's mission critical for us, and it's not just a tool. Many thought leaders have compared the impact of AI to that of the impact of the Industrial Revolution. So it really is a real shift in the paradigm of the way that the world operates. But I'll caution you to, AI can help us to predict supply chain risks, detect fraud, manage budgets, understand citizen needs, and even anticipate shifts in commodity prices and socioeconomic conditions. For leaders tasked with navigating constrained resources and rising expectations, analytics can eliminate waste, uncover opportunities, and support evidence-based policing. This is about moving from reactive leadership to proactive governance. And in a continent as dynamic as ours, this agility makes all the difference. Thirdly, as Cameron mentioned, data is of supreme importance. It is the backbone of trust and transformation. And we must talk about data because we are generating more data than ever before, not just in the US and the UK, but throughout Africa. But too often that data remains disconnected, untrusted, and underutilized. So a strong data strategy brings together all of the different sources of data and enables visibility across ministries, agencies, and businesses. It supports compliance, it builds citizen and investor confidence. When health data, for example, is linked to education data, or agricultural insights are linked to climate intelligence, we enable smarter development decisions and planning. Unified data means better financial forecasting, better control of resources, and ultimately better customer and citizen service. Data is the new currency of trust. And for us in Africa, it's not just for governance, it's actually for global competitiveness. So as a basis for us to remain competitive and to grow that competitiveness, we need these three aspects to work in unison. In summary, it means prioritizing digital transformation for organizations and governments across Africa, embracing AI and emerging technologies, but embracing them in the context in which is useful, right? And that's something that we at SAP advocate, is reliability and trust in the information that we're using. Investing in technology to drive sustainable growth with innovation at scale.
Thank you, Shiraz. I really like the way that you've simplified and packaged digital transformation into three clear pillars for the audience. You mentioned earlier that you had some case studies of some companies that are already on this journey. It would be a good idea to bring some of them, illustrate the examples.
Absolutely, and I think we want to talk less about technology and more about the business benefits of each of these scenarios. So I'll start close to home in Nigeria, energy needs on the continent. They chose SAP's ERP S/4HANA Cloud for their technology needs. They could no longer support accurate and effective decision making, and that was the impetus for this decision. So they made the decision to transform and build new capabilities. And according to James Fabola, the CFO at Onergy, with our new SAP system, our business can confidently look at a new... Back to East Africa and Kenya, where Hewatele is a Kenyan social enterprise that supplies life-saving oxygen. Its partner VCERP Consulting helped them to also deploy SAP's ERP S/4HANA. During the peak of the pandemic, they realized that their existing manufacturing model was not sustainable and not scalable. A quote from Dr. Zulfikar Wali, the CEO of Hewatele, says that SAP has always been the blue chip ERP solution, and considering our need to scale up information, we built out our new production capabilities to make... 2 minutes. Got you. The next one is also close to home in Food Concepts in Nigeria. It's a leading FMCG or multi-brand quick service restaurant group that operates some of Nigeria's most popular and well-loved brands, including Chicken Republic and Pie Express. They chose SAP SuccessFactors to transform the human capital management capabilities from the hire to retire and to optimize their core capabilities in the enterprise. They also wanted to address challenges relating to payroll accuracy and processing, and they've done so with SuccessFactors. Finally, back in West Africa with Cashew Coast in Ivory Coast, a producer and distributor of cashew nuts from the Ivory Coast to the EU and to the US. With SAP's rural sourcing management solution, they were able to implement an impactful strategy, authenticity and traceability of the system, so that they can ensure that the best products are sent to the markets in which they operate. Without granular data, it would have been impossible to implement solid agricultural practices or build targeted community projects for a farmer base of over 5,000 individuals scattered across a radius of 500 kilometers. Thank you very much. Over to you, Cam.
So thank you. And those were great examples. I believe this brings us to the close of our discussion. So if I could summarize, let's reset our institutions. Let's reimagine our economy, integrated, more sustainable, and more globally competitive. Esteemed audience members, I thank you for your attention. Both Shiraz and myself and our colleagues will be here through the rest of...
Thank you.
One more time, let's appreciate Team SAP on that masterclass on resetting leadership, business, and the economy, leveraging digital transformation for sustainable growth. They leave us with one very compelling argument that data is certainly the currency for digital transformation, which is why it is not out of place that we explore a very critical theme: how digital transformation and connectivity are central to connectivity for Ghana's economic reset. Who better to do that for us? The CEO, MTN Ghana. Make welcome Mr. Stephen Lewis.
Your Excellency, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, good to see you again. Ministers of State, CEOs, good morning, CEOs. You're very quiet. Morning. Members of the media, good morning. I've been told I must keep it under 10 minutes, so we'll see how we go. The key pillars of the Ghana economy: creating jobs, which is a key aspect of our lives, generating revenues, driving innovation, and taking calculated risks that fuel the nation's growth. On behalf of MTN Ghana, I also want to acknowledge the importance of this platform in developing and growing the private sector. It is indeed both humbling and energizing to be part of a room filled with visionaries committed to build. And let me try and see how much I can summarize that down to what are the aspects that are important for us in the economic reset. And the first thing I'd like to talk about is that something called business unusual, not business as usual. There is no gainsaying that our country, like many across the continent, is undergoing transformation. The global economy is changing dramatically and rapidly. You all know this, everything you look at. The challenges we face, be they economic, technological, social, are complex and varied. Rapid technological disruption, inflationary shocks, foreign exchange fluctuations, debt vulnerabilities, and climate change continue to expose structural deficiencies in our sectors. A weak manufacturing sector, largely subsistence agriculture, high youth unemployment, low technology uptake, and regulatory environments that need attention are contributing future. And this is why I would call it business unusual. This is why I believe, like many of you as CEOs, that we welcome the support for the government's economic reset agenda, because business usual would not require a reset. It's encouraging to note, for all the challenges we face as a continent and business, there are equal numbers of opportunities with a youthful population and technological advancements that would allow us to do business in unusual ways. New technologies opened hitherto unimaginable opportunities, leveling the playing field and giving us the ability to compete equally and thereby leapfrog in problems. Therefore, at MTN Ghana, we have embraced the challenge with optimism, a sense of purpose, and a long strategic thinking to ensure we take advantage of current and future opportunities in a responsible and sustainable manner. A week and a half ago, during my interaction with the media in Tamale, and I said to Our Excellence when I met him, I said to the President that I'll be visiting Tamale, and I did that. And I affirmed my faith while I was there in front of the media, echoing my belief that the next big innovation could come from Africa. And then I thought about it, and I'm wrong. The next big innovation should come from Africa. Not could, should come from Africa. And the only way that is going to happen is if we make it happen. We create the environment to make it happen, and we have the belief. If we as leaders in business do not believe, do not have the faith that the next big innovation will come from our country and from this continent, it will never happen. Innovation. There's no reason it shouldn't come from Africa and from Ghana. The role of digital infrastructure as a backbone for economic development is foundational in the 21st century. Countries that invest in robust digital infrastructure are better positioned to unlock innovation, to entrepreneurship, expand market access, and economic inclusion, and attract investment. I'm pleased to say that in 2021, we committed as MTN to invest in our business here, in our network, $1 billion. By the end of this year, because in 2025, we will invest $240 million. I'm pleased to say we've achieved that. We are committed to spend $1 billion, and we've done it. And we will continue to invest in Ghana. Why? Because we believe in the future of our country here. We believe there's potential. We believe in what the government is doing. We believe in the reset. My question to you, my colleagues from other companies, is do you believe? And I think we've got all the signals that say we should believe. By the way, when the governor was speaking, I was ready to clap for the CD, but no one else clapped, so we can do that now. We should have done that more often. Anyhow, I'm off script again. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try and keep it relatively short. My message to all of us is we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to invest in Ghana. We have a responsibility to our young people. We have a responsibility towards job creation. We have a responsibility to each other. Let's every mental capability we have, every opportunity to create jobs, to create a country and an economic system that allows for growth. This is what we all believe in. This is what we should be looking forward to. Transformation is never linear. But if we are bold in our investments, deliberate in our innovations, and united in our vision, then Ghana can emerge not just resilient, but exceptional. Let us lead with foresight, with flexibility, with deep understanding of the world. We are leadership that embraces change rather than resists it. Together, let us empower Ghana's digital future, one digital connection at a time. Thank you.
And he speaks so passionately on his behalf and that of his organization because they believe every African deserves the benefits of a modern, connected life. One more time, the CEO of MTN, Mr. Stephen Blewett, on driving digital transformation and connectivity for Ghana's economic reset. We shall now acknowledge two of our sponsors and move to our next keynote.
Welcome to Olam Agri. With 3 decades of expertise, we've honed our skills in sourcing, processing, and distributing food and feed across Ghana and the sub-region. Standing at the forefront of the market, our esteemed grains and rice businesses have a strong presence in all 16 regions. With a diverse portfolio of household brands, we offer quality products that resonate nationwide. In the heart of Ghana's industrial hub lies our state-of-the-art milling facility in Bong Tema, producing high-quality flour and feed to meet growing demand. Established in 2012, our milling facility boasts a remarkable annual capacity of 255,000 metric tons, enhancing Ghana's sufficiency in flour production. Adhering to world standards, our products undergo rigorous quality checks before entering the market. Our grains factory holds FSSC certification, reflecting our commitment to food safety. Our rice warehouse and packaging plant in Bong ensures a steady supply of household brands that meet the demands of all of our consumers. Here, we produce popular consumer brands like Royal Feast, Royal Aroma Fortified, and our made in Ghana rice brand, Mama Gold. Our commitment to excellence is reflected in every aspect of our operations. From our factories to our warehouses to our offices, we are dedicated to rigorous standards to ensure a safe and secure workplace for all. Situated within Accra's bustling industrial area is our head office. This modern space serves as a dynamic hub for innovation and collaboration. As a 4-time certified top employer, we are dedicated to fostering a supportive and rewarding work environment where our employees can thrive. Also uphold our reputation as a trusted leader in the agricultural industry. This is our journey of excellence. As we continue to unlock Ghana's food and agricultural potential, Olam Agri remains committed to shaping the future through food, feed, and fiber.
Imagine a world without work.
A round of applause for our sponsors thus far. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
Your Excellency, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable Ministers of State, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I have been given just 5 minutes, so we'll run through this presentation as fast as we can. So we just want sustainability and proactive use of digital innovations can enhance businesses to be future ready. So we'll illustrate this with examples and initiatives from Olam Agri in Ghana. So I'd like to start.
Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Right.
And this is at a time where about 820 million people are recorded undernourished. So with all these environmental pressures, we have other forces of pressures that are leading to this. There's been a technological disruption, AI and blockchain. There's also been different reactions to regulatory landscapes. And then, of course, we have evolving consumer demands where consumers are even more likely to buy from companies that are not adhering to social and environmental well-being. So we are at a crossroad. It's either we take path one, where we do business as usual, but then what is the cost of that in action? Are we still going to make the money we are making doing business, secure our value chain for the future? And at Olam Agri, we've taken a very proactive approach to transforming food, feed, and fiber. We are committed to making the world better and impacting positively in the communities where we find ourselves. So this commitment lies on 3 major priorities, and this is our sustainability priorities that guides our business. One, we are particular about climate, greenhouse emissions, and our impact through carbon emissions. We are also protecting ecosystems, biodiversity, and watersheds. And then lastly, we are also committed to improving the livelihoods and nourish the partners that we have where we operate. So I'd like to bring this closer to home now and go through the initiatives and programs that we have in Olam Agri Ghana. So in Ghana, we've been here for the past 3 decades, and we've evolved into a leading agri-commodity company that has a major effect on the nation's food. Grow with Ghana, not just in Ghana. So for one of our major businesses, which is our grains business, we have a major wheat mill facility in Tema, where we churn out leading flour brands as well as challenges. The baking industry is highly fragmented. We have bakers who are using outmoded earthen ovens, which pose a lot of effect on the environment. The devices they are using has a major effect on the environment. So it ultimately also leads to hygiene and sanitation problems. So we've taken it upon ourselves to churn out different programs that would enhance the baking industry, that would lead to a long-term sustainability for the industry. So our grains hygiene standards management, we are doing this together with the Ghana FDA, where we have identified certain hygienic parameters bakers are supposed to adhere to. So we take the bakers through training programs. We encourage them to do better in terms of application in the bread making process. And then they are monitored by third-party hygiene controllers who have been trained by the FDA. So at the end of the year, we measure their improvements and even recognize those that have improved in their application process. So far, we've had about 1,200 bakers on this program, with 450 of them actually showing measurable transformation in their hygiene practices. Hygienic programs that we have. So we are able to receive real-time updates on how these bakers are doing. We also have a program we call the Healthy Baker, where bakers are able to know their health status. So for this program, we carry out periodic medical screenings for hypertension, typhoid, and recently breast cancer. And then it's also per regulatory adherence. The bakers are supposed to adhere to certain regulations to be able to have their permits to operate. So we've taken it upon ourselves to carry this forward. Can run through, next slide. Can run through, we cover some in rice. Abra.
Good morning, Mr. President. On the rice front, I would like to say that we are one of the few companies who are a major player in imported rice as well as one of the largest player in local rice. We are committed to the country's farmers. We are having a presence. The brand of Mama Golden Heritage was launched in 2020. We have around 4 years of market presence now, and it's one of the largest consumed local rice brand in Ghana. We are also working with around 65 aggregators spanned across the country and around 3 commercial farmers and 4 toll mills. Going up. Again, as a first, we are one of the only companies in Ghana who have an access to fortified rice. We all know about the hidden hunger and the malnutrition problem which grapples the countries of Africa. We have Royal Aroma Fortified, only one rice of its time, which is a value-added product from the house of.
So we'd like to leave you with this quote from Leonard Sweet, which captures our philosophy at Ola Magri. The future is not a state where we simply arrive at, but we must be proactive in our approach to safeguard it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ola Magri. A shining example of sustainable business. How many of you have your Ghana cards here? Please show by hand. Now we know the enemies of the state. Let's talk about digital identity, shall we? And let's explore that as a foundational tool for inclusive growth. Let's talk about efficient governance and private sector transformation through this medium. For the next few minutes, please, let's hear on digital identity for business and economic research, empowering Ghana's transformation agenda. Who better to do it? The CEO of the Margins Group, Mr. Moses Baden Jr. The video, please.
A safe space. For over 3 decades, Margins ID Group and its subsidiaries have been building this world. Our state-of-the-art access control systems, asset tagging systems, and CCTV installations ensure that the assets most important to you are protected. We have designed and built award-winning national identity infrastructures, supported by our ultra-modern in-house designed and built verification system. We are the identity experts. We represent you, and we are certified to do so. Proudly, the only African facility to be certified by Intergraph at central banking level. Margins ID Group, made in Ghana by Ghanaians for the world. Visit us now at www.marginsgroup.com.
The President of the Republic of Ghana, Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the Ministers of State, the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, fellow CEOs, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, last time I was here, my presentation was done by an AI avatar of mine, and I've had no end to it these days because we live both in the physical world and a digital world. And digital identity without a physical identity is not effective. The digital world is increasingly driven by data, and data is relevant only because it's connected to digital identity. And the speed at which trust can be established in this new digital environment is what matters in transactions. In this case, identity is not just your Ghana card or your Ghana card number. It is the foundation in this digital age. Data is a new currency, and trust is the foundation in this new reality. Strategic national imperative. Securely and digitally is now fundamental to how we do business, deliver public services, and drive inclusion. From opening bank accounts to accessing healthcare, from cross-border trade to e-commerce, digital identity unlocks opportunities. It enables faster transactions, safer interactions, and more inclusive growth. It brings the informal to the formal. It gives every citizen a voice, every business a customer, and every country a chance to leapfrog into the future. In short, digital identity is not just about identification, it is about empowerment, economic acceleration, and trust at global scale. As leaders in business and government, it is our responsibility to ensure that trust is built, protected, and made universally accessible. This must be done with the right legal and digital access control that ensures that the right people present the right certified credentials. They must be able to receive information they are legally entitled to in real time by biometrically verifying the verification system. Without a reliable and secure identity system, governments cannot plan effectively, nor can business serve their markets efficiently. Identity is the foundation upon which systems of accountability, inclusion, and opportunity. Transformational change occurs when the fundamental drivers of production shift. In the agricultural revolution, move forward to the energy age where coal and steam engines were introduced. That changed the landscape and the basis of our social, political, and economic organization underwent a drastic revolution known as the Industrial Revolution, the information computer technology revolution. The whole world economic system was shifted, and we didn't benefit because we were consumers in that revolution and not creators. Now, the fourth industrial revolution is not just about digitization or digitalization. It is about intelligent systems integrated into every fabric of life. It is defined by the convergence of technologies, artificial intelligence, big data, the Internet of Things, cloud computing, blockchain, and quantum computing, all connected together through the internet. These interconnected systems are leveraged by one vital asset: accurate sequencing. Businesses that once took days, that once required buildings, staff, and paperwork are now delivered through mobile and digital devices on portals independently. The more accurate the data these systems are trained on, the more efficient and effective they become. With quantum computing and AI accelerating at exponential rates, problems that would take human experts centuries to solve are now resolved in minutes. And this intelligence feeds on one critical input: trusted digital identities connected to data. Data in this new age is the new gold, and we've heard this several times this morning. But raw data without the identity source is just noise. Data must be linked to real people, places, and things in ways that are secure, verifiable, and privacy respected. We are human beings living in a physical world, yes, for effective participation. Here in Ghana, Mr. President, you have charged us to build a 24-hour economy and create jobs for the teeming unemployed. To realize this vision, every citizen must have a trusted legal, physical, and digital identity that operates in the physical and digital worlds. We must be able to confirm who a person is, whether in person. Without such a system, we are vulnerable. Vulnerable to fraud, to impersonation, to corruption, and services are delivered to the right people. We must invest in identity systems that work everywhere, for everyone, 24/7. A world where not only people, but also devices and systems are tagged with unique identifiers, trusted and verifiable of this new economy. And Ghana is ready. In this new physical and digital world, identity is not just a card or a number. The Ghana card and national ID system is a multi-factor, multi-purpose, physical, electronic, and digital identity system that can establish identity physically. Because in areas where the person is who they claim, when you're off grade. But when you're on grade, you should be able to do that online. Where the card is not present, you left your card at home, you should be able to identify yourself. And where the card is present, you must be able to do that. The national ID system of Ghana is able to do what most ID systems in the world cannot do in any of these circumstances. It's a trusted foundation for aggregating data that's tied to verifiable and trusted identities. It's efficient data analysis and effective data-driven decision. Without such a system, governments cannot plan efficiently to deliver services effectively to their citizens. And more in the future because of the fundamental national database that includes today 98% of the adult population. So what does this give us? A national ID system gives us two possibilities. One is in e-government services and the one in e-commerce services. So let me take a few examples of the impact of this. An e-government service platform connected to a trust foundational database, the national ID database, that covers all data fields that public services and private services use. Many portals, safely and securely. Now, Mr. President, 24 hours, citizens can access whatever service they want because they can prove that they're who they claim they are. They can make payments, they can receive deliveries. And one of these examples, Mr. President, I could be you with a driver's license in the north because nobody can show that the link between my ID and what I'm presenting. Today at DVLA, when you go to the DVLA portals, you can put in your national ID, you can do a biometric verification, and within 300 milliseconds, your data is in the DVLA database, which means that if you buy a vehicle, it will be your vehicle and nobody else's vehicle. Your driving license will be connected to your real ID because you can do the same remotely, or you can do it in person. We can forecast the revenue of DVLA because we scanned all the data since 1972 to make over the next 10 years. And when you are stopped with your driving license or without your driving license. You can be identified as the owner of the car. We can know whether your driving license has expired. We can know whether your insurance has expired. And we can certainly know whether the car you're driving is yours. People talk about the resulting data that DVLA, for instance, generates. But underlying all that data, we must understand that the foundation is the digital identity that makes the data accurate and useful, both in deployment of government services and private services. Today, we can also look at healthcare, the National Health Insurance Authority, which sits on the board of NHIA. Because we have 98% of the adult population registered, and we have National Health Insurance Authority and NIA, as we speak, launching a program to register children in school between 6 to 15. And we have babies being born now being given national ID numbers at birth. It means that our health system will be universal. The National Health Insurance System can tell the gap between what the National ID system is telling them has data, and what's the gap between those who are not on it, in order to now plan more accurately for it. People making claims at hospitals is no longer going to be beset with fraud, because your claim is going to be attached to a verification that you've done in the hospital, which is connected to your consultation and then to the drugs that you're taking at the pharmacy. So paying claims can be digitized, fraud can be eliminated, the human factor can be removed, and healthcare can be truly effective, given the advance of e-health services, access to e-consultation, access to your records in the cloud, which doctors can credential to, and in times of emergency, and know what blood type you are because they are doctors and they have the access and credentials to do so. People found in accidents that plug our mortuaries, whose relatives cannot be found, cannot be tracked, because with your Ghana card or without your Ghana card, just your fingerprints is going to tell us who you are, where you're from, and what family we should contact in terms of emergency. It gives us a whole plethora of tools to organize our data so that planning, budgeting, policy, and implementation of policy can be efficient and effective. Today, your bank account onto a bank portal and verifying with your face, you can have an account instantly. And Mr. Governor, by connecting all bank transactions, the next wave of things that I hope is going to happen. Crime fighting is made easier because the police, immigration, and national security have now the ability to create locally, not to have any foreign person do for them. Search list instantly. So if you store here right now, they can put you on the search list. So even if you are paired at Elubo and they identify, they will know that you stole something from here. And this is built locally. Our borders will be safe because we have all the Ghanaians that live. Because when it turns up at the border, a simple fingerprint identification will show that he's wanted by you for Galamsey. So digital identity is the future. I have a very long written speech, but let me skip that. And let me come to the conclusion of what I want to communicate to you, Mr. President. That this is for public-private partnership between government and private sector to deliver a public good sustainably. Since 2012, we've been on this PPP. We're in 2025. And the one for nationals since 2017, we've been on that. And it's still running. And the fact that the private sector uses it means that it's efficient. I think that but are delivered efficiently and sustainably at scale. Mr. President, I know that you're passionate students of history, as I am, and sometimes outright foolishness. We need to wake up. We cannot just be consumers of this technology. We must be creators of that technology. We cannot outsource our future. We must world with enlightened countries and companies, but not solely on their terms, but in our own enlightened self-interest and the service of our generations yet to be born. We cannot build a modern economy without a modern identity system. Enables effective governance, drives entrepreneurship, protects the vulnerable, and lays the foundation for a fair, inclusive, and prosperous Ghana, top property, and apply our God-given intelligence and capacity to shape our destiny. The Ghana card and national ID systems have laid the cornerstone of a modern, inclusive, and competitive economy. It is not just a card, it is the infrastructure of trust, the gateway to inclusion, and the engine of economic transformation into the future, but digitally sovereign. Let us not be passive participants in this digital age. We must be bold creators of our own destiny. The future is ready. I thank you for your attention.
And Ghana is certainly ready, fleshing out digital identity for business and economic research, empowering Ghana's transformation agenda. You certainly vindicate the governor of the Bank of Ghana when he says clearly that if economic research is the burden of government, then certainly enterprise research is the burden of private sector and business leaders like yourselves. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the summit speech, I give to you our one and only, Ernest de Graft Ejiri.
Hello. Good afternoon to you all. I am very happy. Good to be here. Your Excellency, we are very happy to have you here today. I want to believe that we can confidently say the President of Ghana is now a patron of the Ghana CEO Network. Can we give it to him? I got it from the grapevine that he was supposed to travel when he's... And this is the second time he has done that. The first time he was coming, he had a meeting with Korean presidents. Sunday afternoon, he called me, I'm supposed to go to Korea. I'm no more a president, I don't have a private jet. What do we do? I leave his house, he called me that I'll be at the CEO summit the next day. Can we give it to the president? On that note, I would like to welcome you all to the 9th Ghana CEO Summit. Time is not on our side, so we invite the president. I'll invite the chairman of the CEO Network to invite the president.
Your Excellency, the President, distinguished CEOs, anytime my CEO has asked me to introduce the president, sometimes I feel it's a trap because I'm not sure how I can introduce the president. So to make it simple, he is the head of government of Ghana, and he is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ghana. How else can you introduce the president? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome me to introduce His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, President John Dramani Mahama.
Thank you very much. Kindly resume your seats. Ernest, thank you for inviting me always and giving me the platform when I was in my other mogrification as opposition leader. You always opened your doors and gave us the opportunity to interact with captains of industry and to try and roll out the vision that we had if, you know, God favored us, and taste of the pudding is in the eating, and we've been given that responsibility by Ghanaians. But I want to thank you for your kind invitation. I'll miss the presidential panel with Kofi Abuchi. Unfortunately, there's always a Development Bank board meeting, and Akin Adesina, who's the outgoing president, was expecting me this morning, but I had to call and explain to him that I had to be at the CEO summit. And so, as much as I would have wanted to stay for quite a long time, unfortunately, I'll have to run off immediately after this to catch the flight to Abidjan. I'm happy I listened to Moses' presentation. I mean, the sky is the limit. It just opens so many opportunities for us. And just to say, I got a request for a reference on Moses from DR Congo. And the person was asking about Ghana's ID card. And I said, oh yeah, Margins did it for us. He said, did they do a good job? I said, yes, they did. So we're going to reintroduce road tolls. And so they've been talking about, what the modality should be and all that. But the good thing today is every car is linked to the owner's Ghana card. And so we don't need to have the old toll gates and those cards that you stand and open and all that. We'll just go straight digitalized. If it's one city, if you cross the East Legon Bridge, governor and finance minister will all be happy. We'll just take a picture of your car, and then it will take the bill to your mobile money or your bank account and just pay 1 cedi, only 1 cedi. So things are looking up. I'm happy to see my friend Subi. He sold me my first EV car, a little nippy Wuling Chinese car. And today my boys quarrel over who should use it because they don't pay petrol, they don't pay electricity. The charger is in my house, kilometers. They are good to go. And so, Subi, I'm happy to see you again. But happy to see all of you in a different capacity today. Nana Akufo-Addo would have said, levels don't change. And it is my honor and pleasure to address you at this year's CEO Summit, an event that has over the years become the foremost platform for strategic thinking and engagement and public-private partnerships. It brings together the nation's most influential economic actors, and it is heartening to note how your community has maintained your resolve even through the Triumph theme, leading Ghana's economic reset, transforming business and governance for a sustainable, futuristic economy, or define where we must go as a nation. Today, I wish to structure my remarks around two broad ideas. The first is talking about a reset that is anchored in past reforms and achievements, particularly from our previous administration, that were either abandoned or undermined, leading to costly reversals. And so that's going down the path of history. The second is a reset for the future, one that embraces innovation, transparency, and shared growth. A reset designed to restore confidence and elevate our economy through bold but responsible leadership. So learn the lessons of the past. They are bound to make the same mistakes. Between 2013 and 2016, my administration took bold steps to deepen Ghana's domestic and external financial markets. Under ministers like Dr. Kwabena Dufo and later Mr. Setekwe, who we are privileged to have here with us, and in partnership with the central bank and commercial banks, we introduced medium and long-term domestic bonds, listed them on the Ghana Stock Exchange, and operationalized the Central Securities Depository to improve transparency and liquidity. We went further. Ghana became one of the few African countries to issue a $200 million denominated domestic bond, a strategic innovation that supported our smart borrowing initiative. And I'm happy to say that bond was oversubscribed. Simultaneously, we accessed external capital markets responsibly. From 2013 to 2016, Ghana issued 4 Eurobonds, all without default. And these were anchored in a sinking fund mechanism designed to ensure repayment. We applied over $335 million from our oil-funded sinking fund to settle maturing Eurobond liabilities. We refinanced the $200 million HIPIC-era 2007 Eurobond through our 2015 World Bank guaranteed bond. And before we left office, we left sufficient reserves, enabling the next administration that came after us to pay off the balance in 2017 of the 2007 bond without distress. Ladies and gentlemen, this was not magic. It was just discipline and it was foresight. Tragically, this architecture was dismantled Between 2017 and 2022, debts accumulated defaulted on both the domestic and external debts, a first in our post-independence history. Investors, businesses, and pensioners suffered crushing losses through the domestic debt exchange program, with crude haircuts and public sector arrears ballooned, and SMEs were squeezed out of the credit market. This was not simply a matter of global shocks. Other countries with smaller resource bases managed their recoveries much better than us. In our case, poor fiscal management, opaque collateralization of statutory funds, and disregard for procurement and accountability rules were major contributory factors. The results are visible: a loss of access to capital markets, both domestic and foreign, the collapse of investor confidence, and a shrinking private sector unable to plan, invest, or expand. Let us be honest with ourselves. A true reset must begin by learning from what worked and what was recklessly abandoned. And so the first thing to look at is, despite these challenges, I remain optimistic. Ghana has what it takes to recover, not by repeating the past mistakes, but by learning from it and innovating for the future. Let me outline 8 key pillars of the economic reset that we envisage. Number 1 is completing the IMF program with discipline. We'll continue the discipline in government expenditure and borrowing and work to achieve all targets under the extended credit fund with a program with the to exit at the end of the program in 2026. And thereafter, we'll participate in Article 4 consulting engagement with the fund. And the second is reopening domestic and international capital markets. We're working to reopen Ghana's bond market in collaboration with the IMF and our development partners, the Ghana Stock Exchange, and local banks. However, future borrowing will be linked to self-financing commercially viable projects, particularly by MDAs, MMDAs, and SOEs, ensuring value for money and sustainable repayment. The third is strengthening sovereign funds and local government financing. We'll amend the Public Financial Management Act and Constitution to make contributions of funds must be committed to the sinking and stabilization funds. We also intend to empower MMDAs to issue infrastructure and municipal bonds secured against a portion of their district assemblies common fund to fund infrastructure projects such as roads, schools, water systems, and local industry in the districts. And the fourth is clearing verified arrears and rationalizing public investment. The Auditor General is completing an audit of arrears and commitments, government commitments, and we expect to receive his report by the end of May. We'll then commence to clear legitimate arrears transparently and enforce commitment controls through the gift mix and the IPSAS-based accounting systems. And the fifth is accelerating public financial management reforms, and we have started that already. We amended the PFMA to include fiscal responsibility clauses. We'll reactivate stalled reforms, including the Treasury Single Account, TSA, the Integrated Tax Administration System, and real-time budget monitoring tools to improve efficiency, reduce waste, and to curb corruption. And the sixth is revitalizing exports through Ghana Exim Bank. The Ghana Exim Bank will be repositioned to support non-traditional exports and agro-processing, light manufacturing, and SMEs, enhancing foreign exchange inflows and creating jobs in the real economy. Our Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda will also roll out massive investments in oil palm, in cocoa, cashew, shea, and other high-value tree crops. With two of our major export commodities, gold and cocoa, enjoying a good run in international markets, we will build our reserves and buffers to create the resilience to withstand any future global shocks. And then the seventh is building Ghana into a regional hub for trade and investment. We envision Ghana as West Africa's commercial, transport, and digital services hub linking Ghanaian business to the African Continental Free Trade Area and beyond. And then 8 is resuming infrastructure development to stimulate growth. Infrastructure investment is not optional. We'll resume priority projects in the roads, energy, water, housing, and urban renewal sectors, not through reckless borrowing, but through innovative financing systems like the Big Push, PPPs, and other strategic partnerships. So now, what does this reset mean for business? Distinguished CEOs, this reset will only succeed with the private sector at its core. We're restoring macroeconomic stability not as an end in itself, but as a platform for private investment. And in that regard, we will ensure policy predictability to enable medium and long-term planning for you. The rest of the credit is available for you to expand your businesses. Consultation with industry will occur before any major reforms are done. And finally, a fiscal environment that rewards value creation and not rent seeking. And so, like I said, you will not only be consulted in major government policy, you will be empowered to take advantage of it. We'll institutionalize a national business consultative platform
2024 goes to the CEO of Special Group of Companies, Dr. Ernest Ofori Sapong. Real Estate Developments, Residential Housing, the CEO of the Year goes to the CEO, JL Properties, Dr. James Orleans Lindsay. Healthcare, Eye Specialty, CEO of the Year, ladies and gentlemen, Executive Director of the St. Thomas Eye Hospital, Dr. Michael E. Jesse. Consultancy, Human Resources, ladies and gentlemen, Leadership Excellence Award goes to the founder and Group CEO of the Linnae Group, Dr. Mrs. Ellen Hagan. Trade Facilitation, and ladies and gentlemen, it goes to the Executive Chairman of the Ghana Link Network Services Limited, Dr. Nick Dansueje. He also receives the Entrepreneur of the Year Award in the Entrepreneur category, together with the Technology Award, ladies and gentlemen, for excellence. Please, let's hear it up for Dr. Nick Dansueje. It's a hat trick. 3. Ladies and gentlemen, the Country Manager, Ernst & Young, Emmanuel Adekalo. Healthcare, Medical Equipment Business, ladies and gentlemen, the CEO, Fikapharma Company Limited, Emmanuel Tay Kenny. Ghana Limited, Enoch Etsuamensa. Perfumery Cosmetics, ladies and gentlemen, the CEO, Amanex Company Limited. For the Technology Broadband Infrastructure, ladies and gentlemen, the Regional Manager, C Squared, Estelle Akufio Soa. For Plastics, CEO of the Year 2024 is the CEO, Qualiplast Limited, Mr. Ferris Akil. Business Unit, Equatorial Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Felix Gomez. Chemical Paint Industry, the CEO, Azar Chemical Company, Ghazi Azar. Wealth Management Multinational, ladies and gentlemen, the consultant Henley and Partners, Madam Grace Arthur. Cocoa Sector, the Managing Director, Federated Commodities Limited, Hajia Maria Adamu Zibo. Hospitality Hotels, ladies and gentlemen, the General Manager, Kempinski Hotel. Manufacturing Pipes and Rubber Products, ladies and gentlemen, the CEO of Interplast, Haysam Fakri. For Banking, Leadership Excellence, it goes to the Managing Director, CEO, Zenith Bank Ghana, Mr. Henry Onwu Zurigbo. Hearing Practice, ladies and gentlemen, the CEO of the Year, CEO Key, I beg your pardon. And for Mining Engineering, ladies and gentlemen, CEO of the Year 2024, the CEO, Engineers and Planners, Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. Let's talk about energy, and ladies and gentlemen, Leadership Excellence Award goes to the Acting Chief Executive, Volta River Authority, Engineer Edward Eko Obing Kenzo. For Life Insurance, CEO of the Year 2024, it goes to the CEO of Enterprise Life Insurance, I beg your pardon, Madam Jacqueline Benyi. Pharmaceuticals Manufacturing, CEO of the Year, and it goes to the CEO of Unichem Ghana Limited, Jason Mohan. Beverages in the liquor category, CEO of the Year 2024, it goes to the CEO of Imexco, Jean-Paul Fegali. CEO of the Year Pensions, ladies and gentlemen, is the CEO of Enterprise Group, Joseph Ampofo. And that should be Enterprise Trustees. CEO of the Enterprise Trustees, Mr. Joseph Ampofo. For Minerals Investment Fund, ladies and gentlemen, the Leadership Award goes to the Acting CEO, MIF, Madame Justina Nelson. And so I invite all award recipients to please come up for a group photo. Let me invite to join for the group photo Mr. Kantil Hirani, Mr. Nigan Kwao, Kwamina Sumeni, Kwesi Chum, Michael Ezombi, Mohamed Samara, Nazim Khalid, Niel Oku, Madame Nokodia, Nu Selfui, Omar Eluti, Madame Patience Achianu, Patricia Ubunai, Pawan Aitsani, Ryan Sharara, Said Masri, Salem Kalmoni, Samuel Cage Alto, and Yvette Adongo Atekbe.
It's not me. It's not me. Ernest. Ernest is one of the awards.
All of us together.
Okay, so let's mention their names to come. I think I've got questions. That was quite quick.
And so on the count of three, we all raise our awards. 1, 2, and 3. To this end, I ask that we all rise and affirm our belief and faith in our nation. God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong. The national anthem. Bless us all in our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong. Let's all remain standing as the President and the official party take leave of us. We shall continue with the rest of the programming, please. Baptism of fire. Please be seated. We continue with the rest of the program. Big bro, it will come. Let's please be seated. We continue with the rest of the program.